What's going on, you guys? Hope everyone is doing good. Before I get my shave started, I wanted to just kind of give a reintroduction. I think that there's been a few new subscribers that I've seen, and I just want to say thank you for joining my channel or subscribing. I've also had, I think, some other members that I've known for a little bit longer through some of the forums. Send me messages more recently saying that they've been catching my videos and just kind of saying, that they've been enjoying them or watching them. So again, if you guys are watching these, you need to feel compelled to comment or message. When you do, though, I do appreciate it. I like hearing that you guys are getting something out of my videos. So for those of the new subscribers, if you don't know who I am, I've been shaving since 2012. Actually, I looked this up real quick. I started shaving and I did my first order through Shave Nation. This was kind of towards the end of 2012. Let me see real quick, and I'll kind of give you guys what I did what my first order and my first wet shaving setup. So Shave Nation, this was August 14th, 2012. So I got a alum block. My first brush was this $20 Tweezerman Pure Badger shaving brush. I didn't have that one for very long. We have the Mama Bear's Iceberg mentholated glycerin soap. That was kind of like a lemon and menthol. I got the Merkur 34C, the HD. That was my first razor, and then like a little sampler kit. So it's kind of cool to look back and see what your first order was. And then for those of you guys that may not know, for a while I'm here in the Los Angeles County. There was a shaving shop that was called Old Town Shaving. Here real quick, I'll get to lathering. So I already loaded up with SV Desert Vetiver. I'll talk about that. This is the newer Plisson that I have. I can't tell you guys what grade of hair this is. This is maybe like a European white, but this is one of the newer ones that I have compared to some of the vintage ones that I've had before and whatnot. But yeah, I think for those of you guys that are new to the channel, I'll mention kind of like some things that, I think are important in, what I try to profess or try to share. And most importantly, I don't ever want anyone to come to my videos and think that there's going to be any judgment on if you guys are using something different or if you guys are using something maybe less expensive. If I happen to have someone that's newer in the hobby, don't think that I have there's not like an effort to gatekeep or say that, if you're going to be in wet shaving, you have to have this product or you need to use this type of brush, or if you're using this type of razor that there's just no benefit to that. I really hope that everybody in this hobby just enjoys their shaves. They hopefully are getting close, but comfortable, irritation-free shaves. And I try to not really say that, my videos are more or less a review of anything. I try to frame it as kind of more demonstrational, as far as like if I'm like, for instance, this Desert Vetiver, I haven't really said too much about kind of the performance of it, and that's because as much as I really like and know the SV brand and the soaps, I want to be able to share the comments that I have after having a little bit more use with it rather than doing like a first impressions type, video or whatnot. I will discuss the scent in a moment. So this lather's looking good. I'm going to keep adding the bloom water that I have here. I've got 2 days. I'm sorry. What did I shave Friday? So Saturday, Sunday. So this is like 3 days beard growth. Let me get a little bit more of the bloom water and then we'll be good. So I'm going back to using the carbon. Today I have the titanium razor, which has the plus base plate, and I'm using a feather blade on its 4th use. Feather blades were really not a blade that I would mess around with too much over my time in shaving. It just was usually a little harsh in some of the razors that I used it in, and so if you guys caught any of the BBS1 videos from last week, I finished off my BBS1 shaves using and testing a feather, and it worked good. So I'm going to see how they work for me in the carbon. I may decide to switch over to using the mild base plate. So if you guys haven't been keeping up on my videos, it's very likely that you guys are going to see a lot of shaves in the near future, primarily using the carbon. And I'll be kind of uploading different things. So let's leave this right here. I'm going to do a with the grain pass first. The only thing I'm really worried about, I might have mentioned this in the last video, so I'm pretty sure this red spot, if you guys noticed before I lathered up, it was I think it's an ingrown hair that I've had for, I don't know, like a year or so. And I think I was probably picking at it yesterday, and so it's maybe a little more red. So hopefully it's not gonna bleed, but I'm not gonna be surprised if it does. So again, the titanium razor. But yeah, I mean, it's been really cool recently, just kind of chatting a little bit more with everybody. So I just want to say thank you guys, because it's actually made the last couple weeks a little bit easier to get through. January was kind of tough, but I'm hoping that everybody's having, I don't know, they're having some good things happen, just in your guys' area or in your personal life. Hopefully things are getting a little bit better, a little bit easier. I really like this razor. Someone was, I can't remember exactly who I was talking to, but I think someone was kind of alluding to a similar feeling that I have with this titanium, and just the overall balance of this razor, completely in titanium. I don't find that this one is uber, super, or very light. That doesn't mean that somebody, like I'll tell you guys, I've had some very heavy brass and stainless steel handles. They weren't for me. One of the viewers had mentioned that I tend to kind of be pretty quick with kind of how I maneuver this. And so for me, the heavier handles just tend to not have that intuitiveness. They don't seem as maneuverable for me. And so I really enjoy the weight of this titanium. To me, it seems like it's more relatable to what a very well designed and a really well balanced stainless steel should feel like. Carbon does have the titanium middle part with the, yeah, it's the 2 carbon fiber. Or no, I have it backwards. It's titanium here, and then the carbon fiber in the middle. And I did like that. It's a handle that I may decide to purchase in the future, but that one was maybe just a little bit too on the light side. I think one of my other viewers was talking about the stainless steel for them. The weight, I think, does a little bit more for them and their beard type versus the titanium. So don't be surprised if sometime this month I do a couple different side-by-side shaves with, like, let's say right now I'm using a titanium plus plus. When I get my plus plus in stainless back, I could probably do a side-by-side to tell you guys if I feel like there's a major difference between the same razor and the different material. The soap's got great lather, good residual slickness. I'm not really too fond of this scent so far, and I'll tell you guys, some of the scents in the Desert Vetiver, which I'll list here real quick before I re-lather up. And I've told you guys before that SV is a more technical choice rather than it always being something that I choose because of the scent. I'm really liking the performance of this. The scent just really does not speak out to me. I think it's a little more complex than really kind of what I like normally. So here's the sense of the Desert Vetiver. Top notes of elemi, pine tree, incense, orange, artemisia, grapefruit, and bergamot. A lot of scents. Body notes are black pepper, marjoram, juniper berries. This is the one I don't know. Oregon or Oregon, geranium, rose, and lavandin. And then the base notes are clove, patchouli, vetiver, amber, precious wood, and plant moss. Someone was asking me on Damn Fine Shave if I thought that this was more green citrus or if it was spicy incense. And I didn't get a chance to reply to that person yet, but the answer is I don't think I can put it directly in either category, because to me, there's not really a green aspect that kind of jumps out at me. Obviously, the first soap that SV released was called Felce Aromatica, Aromatic Fern, Aromatic Fougere. That is a very popular scent. It's very green, it's very fresh. There's a little bit more of that kind of outdoorsy and fresh kind of green and mossy type of feel. There's a little bit of the aspect of kind of the darker scents, like the amber, some of the spices. I think I do get like the black pepper, the clove, the patchouli. I forget what the other spice is right now. I don't know how much of the citrus and how much of the floral aspects I get off this scent. And I really wanted to just use the dragon's beard because this scent to me, it's calling out much more as far as this scent. But it goes to show that I'm willing to, again, kind of go against sometimes what I would prefer to use and just make the decision to keep using this and just kind of limit the rotation. I've just been kind of playing around with the brushes. And since this beard growth is just a little less than I was doing a couple of times last week. I think I had like 4 days beard growth one time. I was using one of the other Plissons that was a little bigger and has a little bit more face feel, a little more presence and scrub. So this one worked perfect. So yeah, it's hard to describe this scent. I actually ended up gifting Kubebe to one of my close friends, and luckily he really liked the scent, so good for him. Kubebe wasn't necessarily my favorite scent or favorite performer, and that's not to say that I didn't like the performance of the scent. It just it's really not in line with normally what I enjoy. And like for the cooler weather that we've been having, excuse me, the type of scent that it was, it doesn't excite me. So I think that with more use I could figure out how much I really like this. Luckily that doesn't feel too uncomfortable, but you guys can see it's a little red. That's my suspicion, that's what that is an ingrown hair. So it's a little sensitive. I forget what else I was going to chat about, but I tried to help somebody with their beard mapping. And so what I would say is, if you guys are, wanting to experiment with your shave, or I don't know, maybe fine tune, kind of knowing your face, what I would recommend is, once you are familiar and confident with your beard mapping, play around with your first pass. How efficient do you feel like your with the grain pass is? Is there the possibility that if you know both directions on your across the grain pass, is there a more efficient and a more mild direction? To me, the more mild direction across the grain would be from the center out and up. Whereas that second pass I just did right now, that's the more aggressive and the more efficient way for me to get a close shave. So I'm going to relather. I guess what we'll do is we'll go against the grain, just on the whole face. Let me just see how. Yeah, I don't think it's feeling too rough. The last shaves that I got with the BBS one were very nice with the feather. They were very close. They still were comfortable. They were just maybe a little closer than I prefer. So just got a little more water. And a little bit more, and then we'll go for it. So no minus plate today. Now I have made comments, especially in my last one, since I was talking about like Plisson or the BBS one and just gear that's harder to obtain. If I'm gonna in some way promote a brand, I don't want to be promoting something that's harder to get or unobtainable. But I will say that the production, based on how often I was checking the Corbin website, that in the third quarter of last year, I had made mention to Sean that I think ideally it'd be great if he could improve his production numbers. And I think before the holidays, I had noticed that he was able to keep a lot of things in stock on the website. And I think that he had a huge amount of orders around the holidays, and it really cleared out his inventory. So I will say that I know that the stock on the website is more limited, but I know that Sean has been in his shop doing a lot to restock and get his inventory numbers back up. So I will say that although the website doesn't reflect everything being in stock right now, I think you can get like a model like this. You can get a titanium full kit. Now I'm not sure like if I checked if every single option was available, but in general I think that all the base plates you can choose from. Not too shabby. So, feather blade. Looks good. I don't know that I got any nicks, which is quite a bit more rare. So for those of you guys that are new to my videos, I tend to prefer, sounds funny, I tend to prefer nicks over razor burn, but that just happens to be more because of my skin. I'm more nick prone, or as I like to say, maybe I'm thin skinned. But the nicks that I get normally, they show when they're most prevalent during the shave. They don't tend to be something that I have to worry about hours and hours after the shave, whereas razor burn, I can see my skin remains hot during the shave. So let's see how this works. Now, I didn't use any mango or kokum butter as my pre-shave. I didn't put any on this morning. I didn't put any on the puck. So I'm going to today do the aftershave first, and then I'll put on some mango butter. Let me just rinse my face one more time. I think probably on my next video or so, you guys will see in the title, I'll probably put like something like cap versus base plate angle. And so especially the minus base plate, I get a lot of range and angle. And so although I don't have the BBS1 anymore, the BBS1 razor worked really well. The biggest difference that I could tell you guys in the most simple way was I found that the window of the cutting angle to be a little smaller on the BBS1, which is where I find the carbon to work better for me. It tends to have a wider sweet spot. And then the other point that I wanted to make, I'll throw on this aftershave, was that in that last video I talked at the end about the blades that I liked in the BBS1. So just to give you guys two examples, the Kai blade and the Red Pack Persona, I would say that those offer a very high level of, ooh, yeah, I can feel it right there. They offer a high level of both smoothness and sharpness. With those two blades, I'm not saying that these are the only blades in my experience that you know, kind of offer this, but I think they're kind of the standout examples of the blades that I use. The level of sharpness that I get, say from a Kai or a Red Pack Persona, it offers me, the user, to maximize that level of closeness that I can get in the shave. So it's not so much that those blades will always give kind of the same shave, the same level of closeness, the same level of smoothness. They offer such a high level of sharpness that if I can really pay attention, it allows me to squeeze a little bit more out of how close I get that shave versus, like, let's say maybe like a Derby blade or like an Astra Superior Platinum. Those are still going to be good blades, still smooth. I know the Derby's a little bit more of like a outlier example where most people find them to be way too mild for most people. But with those, I don't think I can get quite as close of a shave unless I'm really like pushing down. Whereas like the Red Pack Persona, the Platinum Chromes and those guys, I think that they offer me, the user, the chance to cut too close, but to just squeeze out a little bit more of maintaining closeness and smoothness without getting irritation and discomfort. So I thought that that was worth noting. I don't know. I tried to kind of have a, I guess that's kind of how I judge my blades, is how sharp do I think they are? Are they more likely to bite me, or are they more likely to cause, because of a lack of sharpness, more irritation from going over the same spot? So we got some coke and butter. I snagged a few brushes that you guys will see coming up soon. It's possible that you guys will see another shave video a little sooner, so you guys will probably see some less beard growth. I feel like these carbon razors, I can go closer to daily shaving, which ideally I'd like to do quite a bit more of. The BBS one, I didn't want to do that shaving back to back. It just wasn't, it's not the type of razor that I prefer on my face. So the last shave you guys saw, the Purple Heart brush, my favorite brush. It's kind of like a tie though. This is my other Shave Revolution, although it's not branded on the bottom. This is a High Mountain White. It's not that much different from this. This tends to be my best lathering brush. Whatever soap I were to use, this is the best performing brush I have, hands down. Would I prefer to use this over my vintage Plisson? 100%. This is even still a little too scrubby for me to a point. It's one of those things where I like it because of how much I prefer the Plisson style knots that offer a little bit taller loft, and the way that the knots are made, they allow for complete free flow or free loft. Same thing with this brush, same thing with this. They don't have this crazy amount of backbone and density. The density is not very high. And then here's one more. This is the Vylong Lord Randall brush. This is another one that is very good with the backbone, but also offers a very good flow through. So those are the brushes that you guys will probably see me using with the Desert Vetiver. If on the next video or whatever you guys see me not using the Desert Vetiver, it's probably going to be that I'll want to switch to this purely because of the scent. This has grown on me quite a bit. I kind of wanted to just get this to try more for the performance, but it ended up being a really solid shave soap. You know, the big difference between these two soaps, number one, is going to be the water content. This first ingredient on the ethos is, or Dragon's Beard ethos, it's water. The seventh ingredient in this soap is water, and from most of the soaps, it was shared that these are about an 8.5% water content. So obviously this one is not milled. When you get this product, it starts with however much water, and then when it gets milled out, you get a harder puck. So as much as I prefer the milled soaps, it doesn't mean that, although I don't like the process of the softer consistency, yeah, here I can just see. It smells really good. I don't prefer to, put this on the face and lather that way. Just because it's my preference, it doesn't mean that I can't tell you guys it's still a very, very solid performing soap. It's got a good formulation. It works well for me. So, face feels good. I like this Desert Vetiver. It's just kind of the scent is just not clicking with me so far. But this Plisson worked really well. It's a little bit on the smaller side. I think it's like an 18 millimeter if I remember right. But yeah, just to wrap up, again, those of you guys that have been shooting me messages, thank you. If you guys are just kind of lurking and checking out the videos and haven't left a comment, that's okay. Thanks for checking it out. For those of you guys that are new subscribers, welcome to my stream of unconsciousness, or welcome to one of the longer videos on shaving compared to some of the other people that are able to keep their shaves 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I guess that is just not my style, at least right now. But let me know if you guys have any questions or any recommendations on what you may want to see me use that's in my den. I will say I can't oblige every single request, and sometimes that's just going to be purely out of something that I don't want to use. So when this feather blade is done, I will go ahead and switch back to using a Kai blade, and we'll kind of go from there. So I hope you guys have some good shaves. I'll catch you guys sometime later this week. All right, have a good one.